Good morning, first grade. Today in math, we are going to be talking about this right here. Can anyone tell me what this is? This is called a thermometer. What is the purpose of a thermometer? Why do we use one? Well, a thermometer tells us the temperature, right? We have thermometers that their job is to tell us the temperature of our head. We have thermometers whose job is to tell us the temperature that's inside of a piece of meat, right, when we're cooking. We have thermometers whose job is to tell us the weather, tell us how warm or cold it is outside. This thermometer that we're using right here would be a thermometer that we would use to measure temperature of air. Now, some people buy thermometers that go outside specifically, or they sit in the inside of their house and it can measure what the temperature is inside. Most of us have thermometers, but our thermometers look a little different. And why is that? Because the thermometers that we have inside of our homes are thermometers that sit up against a wall, right? And we can turn the temperature up, we can turn the temperature down. Today we're going to look at this thermometer though. This thermometer we are going to be looking at in degrees Fahrenheit. This little circle is the symbol for degrees, and the F is the abbreviation for Fahrenheit. So as you're taking a look at this scale, at this thermometer, you're seeing we're starting at negative 20, negative 10, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. This thermometer, just like all thermometers that look like this, is going up in groups of 10. So when we count by tens, it's really easy for us to be able to count this. Now, we are going to go ahead and look at this thermometer, and we're going to figure out how to tell what the temperature is outside. So in a thermometer, you always start at the bottom part of the thermometer. This is called the mercury that sits inside of the thermometer. And then when you're filling a thermometer in, you fill it in from the bottom up. So I'm going to go to about here. And the thermometer going from the bottom all the way up to wherever it is for the temperature lets us know how warm or cool it is outside. And what would you say the temperature is on this thermometer? Well, it goes all the way up to where it says 60. So it would be about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, water is going to freeze at this temperature. Water is going to freeze at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. What does that look like on the thermometer? Well, it looks like this. Here's 32 degrees, 30, and then 2 more, 32 degrees. That is when water, liquid, will freeze, okay? Now, what if I have this temperature right here? What is it closest to? Is it closest to 30 or to 40? I would say that it's closest to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So I would write 40 up here. That would be 40 degrees Fahrenheit. What about this temperature here? What is this temperature closest to? Is this closer to 70 or 80? Notice we're looking at our groups of 10, aren't we? Is it closer to 70 or 80? We would say that it's closer to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. What about this temperature? What about this temperature? If you look here, it's going up past 20, but is it closer to 20 or to 30? We would say that it's closer to 20. So we would say it's about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay? Now, this is something that we are going to continue working on. This is something that we will practice in our guided class practices and in our homework. This is something that we'll be taking a look at in calendar time on occasion. So this is something that's going to keep coming back to us. So there's a couple important things to remember. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's when water is going to freeze. It's important to remember that when we're looking at the thermometer, we're looking at what is it closest to. Right now we're looking at what is it closer to. Is it closer to 20 or 30? So what group of 10 is it closer to? And that's the temperature that you're going to put on your thermometer. Remember that this little circle that sits above the number, that means degrees, and the F stands for Fahrenheit. That's the way that we measure temperature in the United States. Okay, first grade. Now that we are done with this part of our lesson, I would like you please to grab out your guided class practice 27A. Go ahead and put your name on. Also, get on the date. The date is October 13th. October 13th, 2020. Okay, first grade, hopefully by now your name is on your paper and your date, if you need the date, it's written right here for you as well. October 13th, 2020. Today, for this sheet, you will need your pencil. You will also need 3 colors of crayons. You will need red, green, yellow. You'll need red for down here also. So go ahead and make sure you have your red, green, and yellow crayon, and we are going to get started. There are 4 green lunch boxes and 3 yellow lunch boxes on the shelf in Mrs. Taylor's room. There are 2 green lunch boxes on the floor. How many green lunch boxes are there altogether? Draw a picture and write a number sentence for the story. What was it asking us for? Was it asking us for all the lunch boxes? No. It said how many green lunch boxes. So let's reread and underline or box the important information and cross off the stuff we don't need. There are 4 green lunch boxes. Well, that was important. 4. 3 yellow lunch boxes. Did we need to know the yellow? No. There are 2 green lunch boxes on the floor. How many green lunch boxes altogether? So now we need to draw that out. We started with 4. Okay, and 2 that were on the floor. Okay, it does not have to be anything fancy. Now, we need to go ahead and write our number sentence out. We started with 4. And since we wanted green lunch boxes, I'm going to be able to abbreviate GLB, green lunch boxes, plus 2 green lunch boxes equals how many total lunch boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 green lunch boxes. Okay, so what's my answer? 6 green lunch boxes. Number 2, it says which number on the thermometer is the temperature closest to? So looking at your thermometer, you can see that it sits between 40 and 50. Which is it closer to? Is it closer to 40 or 50? Right, it's closest to 50. So you're going to go ahead and write 50, and there already has a degree Fahrenheit spot. Okay. Now it says continue the repeating pattern, and then we need to color the pattern with red, green, and yellow. So red, green, yellow, green. Red, green, yellow, green. Red, green, yellow, green. Okay, now I need to color that in with my colors. red, green, sorry I'm using that lighter color green again, yellow, green, red, green, yellow, green. Now I have to finish what I did. Red, green, yellow, and green. Okay. For number 4, you will need the red again. Number 4 says divide the squares in half 2 different ways. Color 1/2 of each square red. I'm going to divide my 1 square in half diagonally. And I'm going to divide my 1 square in half. You see that's horizontally. Now I have to color 1/2 of each square red. 1/2. That's one of the 2 pieces. Does it matter which one I fill in? No, it doesn't matter. Okay, do your best on your line. Obviously, if your line's all the way down here, that's telling me that that was not even close. Okay, so make it as close as you can. Number 5, number the clock face. Then show 8:30 on both clocks. So first, let's number our clock face. 12, 6, 3, 9. And now I can finish filling it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back up to 12. Now we want to show 8:30. Remember, 8:30. 8 something. What's 8:30 mean? 8:30 means 8:30. Okay? 8:30. Halfway past 8 o'clock. And if it's 8:30, my minute hand is going straight down to the 6. And 8:30 means that my hour hand is going in between the 8 and the 9. And you're just putting little arrows there. Make sure that your minute hand is much longer than your hour hand. Okay, and that's 8:30. 8:30. The back side, you are responsible, name and date. Remember, it's the 13th. You will need red, green, and yellow again. Your pattern's not the same as the front, so make sure you're checking the pattern. Divide your squares in half 2 different ways. Color 1/2 of each square red. Number your clock face and show 3:30. 3:30, where this is your hour. These are your minutes. That's where you're seeing 8:30, right? 8:30 goes here. So number it and then show 3:30 on both clocks. When you are done with this back side, please make sure that this sheet as well as your fact sheet are in your Tuesday folder.